Good morning. I'm local State Farm Agent Caroline Espinoza, and I have the honor and privilege to be sitting here this morning with Carlos Honore from 5th Ward Saints North. We're super excited to be launching our Quotes for Good campaign here in the month of September and partnering up with you guys. A few of my local State Farm Agent friends will also be participating. Why don't we just kick it off by having you tell us a little bit more about the organization and how it got started here in our community?
Absolutely. So the 5th Ward Saints was just a football team that I started in Houston about 10 years ago in 2009. And it was just that. It was just a football team, something that I thought I would do to give the kids something positive to do in an environment like 5th Ward, Texas, which is one of the most impoverished per capita areas in the United States. So it quickly turned from a football team into something more. I noticed that the things that I experienced while I was growing up, my situations weren't unique, and sports played a huge part in my evolution as a young man into adulthood. So I thought that I would add an aspect that would address those issues such as learning disabilities, behavior disorders, any kind of underlying issues that kids were having that weren't getting the proper attention. So my wife being a social worker, we decided to add a social service aspect to the program. So it's a social, emotional, athletic development program is what we're calling it. So it's basically just kids that aren't necessarily at risk, but kids that want something, need something positive to do after school, or just keep them on the straight and narrow.
Sure. So tell us a little bit about your ties to the Iowa City area.
Yeah, so I moved from Baton Rouge to Iowa City in 1989, and I was in 6th grade, and I struggled when I first got here. There was a huge culture shock because I'd never been in an environment like Iowa City coming from Baton Rouge. But it was welcoming because it was something different, and it was much safer than where I was. So graduated from here, went to the University of Iowa, and I ended up leaving to go to Houston, and I came back to speak at my high school graduation in 2017, and I noticed a shift in demographics when I got back, and it was like 9% black when I was here. And it was just great to see the demographics had switched, and it was like a lot of different races, Iowa City was more diverse than it had ever been when I was here. But I also noticed that there was a need for a program like mine now. So I started the ball rolling by forming a partnership with the Iowa City Community School District to be able to communicate with those parents and the teachers and counselors that know those kids the best. So our program is 100% referral based from the school district.
Okay. Great. And how can we help here as a community in partnering up with you guys?
So we have a gamut of needs that, being a 501c3 and nonprofit, there's always needs that we have. So currently our needs are, number one, far and foremost, annual sponsors. We can always use annual sponsors because everything that we do for the kids, there's no cost for the kids. So everything from the sports uniforms to registration forms to trips or music, everything that we do is free of charge because the two barriers for kids to participate is either transportation or lack of funds. So we've raised enough money to purchase 5 vans to cross the barrier of transportation, and the communities, they help with the funds needed to keep it running. We also need food prep every day. We send the kids home with hot meals, and we need people to come help either bringing in hot meals or help us prepare the hot meals. We need van drivers, adults over the age of 26. So our insurance policy, you guys understand that. So our insurance policy doesn't go through the roof. We also need mentors daily, or every Wednesday we have a guest speaker come in. Doesn't have to be somebody related to sports. Maybe somebody has an awesome story that they've lived a different life, and they took a couple turns and ended up in the right direction. We need those kinds of stories so those kids can relate and know that there are people out there that's experienced what they've experienced, but made it on the other side and be able to be successful in their life.
Sure. Well, that's great. Those are some really great examples. Tell us a little bit more, too, about the kids' age group, maybe some of the activities that they've gotten to do here in the last year.
Okay. So our grade of our 5th and 6th grade is what we started with per the school district. The school district thought that there were not enough programs for that age group. So we're filling the void there from an athletic standpoint as far as a social service aspect. So the 5th, 6th grade, and then we'll add 7th grade this year. Those 6th graders that started last year with us, we'll follow them through 8th grade. So this year we'll add 7th grade, next year we'll add 8th grade, and then we'll let those kids go on to high school and enroll them into a different type program after that.
Very good. Well, Carlos, those are some really great examples of, what the kids are getting to partake in. Before we wrap things up today, why don't you tell us about, we've got some exciting events here that are coming up on the calendar where the local community can actually participate.
We were tapped to be the beneficiary of the Scoveland Realty Golf Tournament this year, and that's September 23rd.
Okay.
And it's open to the public, so get your teams together and come out and join us.
Yes, that's great. Well, we really look forward to it. And just as a reminder, for every quote that myself and the other local State Farm agents receive in the month of September, we'll be donating back to 5th Ward Saints North, and we're super, super excited. Thank you so much.